Well, hello everybody, and we are here at the Green Dragon Hostel in Hiawassee, Georgia, and it's fastly becoming one of the more famous hostels on the trail. Certainly the best in Georgia, no doubt about it. And I'm here with an Appalachian Trail legend, Nimrod, who works here at the Green Dragon Hostel. He's worked at many different hostels, and he started hiking the trail in 1975, so he knows a thing or two about hiking and the Appalachian Trail for sure. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about things that I'm experiencing on this attempted thru hike of mine. Now, I thru hiked in 2023 and I made a lot of beginner mistakes. And it's funny, like hiking it now when I get to mountain crossings, I see all the beginner hikers doing the backpacker shakedowns and mailing stuff home and packing their fears. I just want to talk a little bit about that today. Maybe we can give you some advice so you don't make so much the same mistake. My first advice to you, my first tip to you, you're probably going to ignore it. And I get it, I understand it, because the first tip is really about backpack weight. And no matter what we preach to you on camera here now, you're going to come to Springer Mountain probably heavy and overweight. And then you're going to realize when you get to mountain crossings, for example, like, oh, this is terrible, I got to unload this stuff. And then you're going to be stuck mailing stuff home. It's pretty expensive, too, to mail stuff home. But on this attempted thru hike of mine, even I overpacked. When I went to mountain crossings, I had my stuff laid out over the floor. So it's okay, here's what I'm saying. And you're probably going to do it anyway, no matter what we say, but we're just giving you a warning. Generally speaking, on my northbound hike in 2023, obviously when I got to the warmer climates, of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, my backpack fully loaded leaving the town was around 30 pounds. Now, I know in winter, you're going to add some additional things. It's going to be a little bit heavier, but some of the hikers that I started with, their backpacks were 48, 50 pounds. And they were carrying totally unnecessary stuff that you don't need, like rappelling rope and multiple sets of clothes, very heavy clothes on top of it too. As for me, I'm an amateur too. I mean, I thru hiked once. I never thru hiked before that. I never did anything after that. I just did it as a physical challenge. It wasn't really a hobby of mine, although it's becoming a hobby of mine for sure. And that's why I have an expert with me to disagree with me or to agree with me or to add on what I say. When you pack your pack, just try to think, just be as light as possible. Pack the things that are needed, of course, but definitely don't go overboard. You don't need a machete. You don't need rappelling rope. You don't need big, heavy bison jackets and stuff like that. So, that's just my opinion, and I'll ask our Appalachian Trail legend, Nimrod, what's your take on this as a very more seasoned hiker than me, obviously?
Well, basically you just want to figure out what you really need to be reasonably comfortable and to survive. Reasonably comfortable, I always tell people what other people find uncomfortable has to become your new comfort zone.
Yeah.
So, it's all relative. But the less you are able to carry, the more comfortable you will be in terms of hiking. The less weight on your back, the more easily you can cover the distance you choose to cover each day. Be you a big mile hiker or just a casual saunterer.
Yeah.
Then that will make it easier. Again, we by the time you get to the end of your thru hike, as you have, you can probably attest to this, we all become very feral. Many thru hikers, when they finish, have got little more than the clothes on their back and whatever they're sleeping in at night and eating during the day. A lot of people start with little things that seem essentials, like sit pads. Now, they don't weigh much, but most people, after a while, discover they can sit just about anywhere and be comfortable. You just become acclimated. Again, now, there are certain things that we all call our luxury items. Now, I'm decadent that way. All of us have things that we carry. I always carry a second pillow, which people say that's kind of pointless. But my take is that anything you need to sleep comfortably is an essential. It's not It's not something special or above and beyond.
No, I'll just interrupt you right there. I think, with winter hiking on the AT, you made a good point. I think the most important thing, I think, is your sleeping equipment. Your sleeping pad, your sleeping bag. You need quality in that. And if you have quality in that, then you won't need all that other stuff. Am I making sense? I don't know. Like, you won't need a big jacket or anything. Because it's all about sleeping at night. Because during the day, you're going to be walking, and you're going to be actually sweating, almost no matter what the temperature is. But at nighttime, that's where it's time to pay the price. And if you have a quality sleeping bag and a sleeping pad, and a quality tent too, and they're lightweight, I think that's really, really, really important for winter hiking. I really do. You know what I mean? You agree with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Good quality gear that's within the temperature range of where you're going to be, when you're going to be there. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't realize, I'm surprised that this isn't out there more. Okay, you get a sleeping bag and it's rated, a certain temperature rating. Generally, those temperature ratings there are 3 ratings that are given to the higher end, better quality bags when they send them off to the International Testing Agency or the National Standards Testing Agency, either one. Anyway, the 3 ratings are survival rating, which is the lowest rating on the bag. There's the mid-range comfort rating. Okay, that one is actually the comfort rating for men. Okay, and then there's the higher end comfort rating. That's the comfort rating for women. Okay, most bags will give you that mid-range comfort rating as the rating of the bag. Okay, now the reason now test sleepers are put into these bags whenever they are certified at a certain temperature, and that's how they ascertain what the comfort level is. Okay, that along with the existing knowledge on how much down or synthetic filling is necessary to get a comfort rating. Anyway, but when the bags are tested, they're tested with an R5 sleeping pad. So your temperature rating in your bag is rated based upon all of this other experience, the actual test sleepers, and them sleeping on an R5 sleeping pad. So that sleeping pad that you were talking about being essential, that's an important part of being comfortable. Now, most of the inflatable pads that people are using today are rated around 5 or a little higher, so it's not really an issue. But for a long time, the temperature rating, or the R rating on most pads was like 3.5 or thereabouts. So it was less than the 5 that they were tested on. So anyway, the point being, there's a lot of stuff to be known that most people aren't aware of.
If you're going to spend money, spend it on the sleeping bag, the sleeping pad, and you won't need to bring your ski jacket. But you're probably going to bring it anyway. But I can guarantee you, when you get to Mountains Crossings, which is mile 31, you're going to be mailing this stuff home because you're going to feel the weight of it, and it's going to be punishing just in that short span. And
the most important thing about what I was saying, though, is not to inundate you with a lot of technical talk that you really don't need. I think the most important thing is to go out and actually test the gear before you come out on trail to use it. That way you know if you're going to be comfortable already. Even if you're just sleeping in your own backyard, definitely, go out and test the gear.
So, that's our opinion on that. There, you got it. You turned it on.
Jeez.
My next thing I want to talk about is something I witnessed this morning here at the breakfast table. And, of course, we have a lot of beginner hikers here that made it here, too, which is a great accomplishment. I think, what were we, 69, mile marker 69 on trail here?
If you're Dix Creek Gap.
Dix Creek Cap, yeah. But a lot of beginner hikers, I think, overthink a lot of stuff. So they were here in the morning at the table. They had like this paperwork all laid out. They had highlighters. They were trying to plan where's this and where's that. They want to know where forest roads were if there's an emergency. And he'll tell you after me. I'm just putting my opinion as this semi-amateur hiker. You don't want to overthink things. Well, the first thing for me is you don't need all these papers. I got to say, he may disagree with me. You know what I mean? I'm just telling you mine. But like the AWOL book, I don't think you need any of that. The only thing you need, in my opinion, is the Far Out app on your phone. It's updated. We leave comments on it also. So far out is always updated. Now, if you're just going by the book, they put it out before the year, nothing's updated. You know what I mean? So, for example, if there's a water source 0.5 off the trail and it's down a steep decline, and if there's no water there, someone that's been there before you is going to say, don't do that. It's dry. And it's an incredible resource. And it could save you so much trouble. And, everything's updated on it. Water sources, hostels, creeks on the trail. It has everything. It has all the information about the towns. And, like you're looking for emergency roads or something like that. Well, you really don't need to know. You need shuttle drivers. They're all over the trail. And guess where their information's at? It's on the Far Out app. So if you're in a certain area, the shuttle drivers are going to be listed on the comments. So everything you need to know is on the Far Out app. So I'm just not a big fan myself. Maybe Nimrod is because he's old school. The book and all this other stuff and All Trails app. I mean, they're all good things. I'm not saying that, but the Far Out's very specific for the Appalachian Trail anyway, in my opinion. And I really love it a lot. What do you think, Nimrod? Are you going to disagree or no?
Oh yeah, I'm going to slap you down.
Oh, here he goes. I love it. Yeah.
No.
He's a compass and map guy, probably still.
What? No, actually, I find AWOL useful as a planning tool. I think it's actually the best guide to use when you're planning your through hike. But once you get on trail, I'm in full agreement with you.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm here to learn too. So.
But and when he says it's updated in real time because people who own the app can get online and they can update information, like what you were saying about water sources or storm areas or whatever. So yeah, the people who are actually using the trail update it as they're going along and discover things. And it's not just a great resource for the AT. They have trail guides for every major trail in the country and around the world. They're becoming the resource for trail guides everywhere. But as far as like planning for an AT through hike, like all the people who are sitting around here with their detailed information, their guides and their paperwork. Now, I'm a proponent of sitting around, spending copious hours poring over trail guides before you actually set foot on trail, and making data sheets and long lists of every place you intend to stay, the mileage you're going to do every day. Resupply resources, shuttle drive, write it all down in copious detail. And then once you've got it all worked out, then go back over it again and again until you've got it down to the nth degree. And carefully wrap it in plastic, put in your pack so that it will be well preserved, not damaged along the way. First night when you get to camp, take that thing out and use it for fire starter, because that's all it's good for. So anyway,
I'm too tired to start a fire.
No, the point is, it's nice to have some general planning, know where you're going every day. When you get up in the morning, okay, this is where I hope to get to, whatever. But as far as the detailed planning, probably the single most important characteristic of an AT through hiker or any long distance hiker is to remain flexible. Okay, things are going to change. Trail conditions are not going to be what you imagine. You're going to have an injury, or you're not going to be sick, or you're going to be sick, or just not feeling like doing a lot of miles one day. So it's impossible to plan everything in too much detail. So you want a general plan, but
right. I know for us and me and my trail family, for us it was weather. I mean, sometimes huge weather was headed our way. We knew, like, okay, let's get off here, get to the hostel, get out of this weather. Or worst case scenario, we got caught out there, get in the lean-to. You know what I mean? So, of course you got to be flexible. Always, yes. Good point.
And sometimes, you will have days at a time where it's raining. Some days you get up and say, I just can't take another day of rain.
Yeah, I'm starting to hike tomorrow. It's going to rain tomorrow. You believe that? Jeez, like unbelievable.
Well, I've been out where it's been a week every day of just rain, one day after another, And I get up one day and I say, I just can't stand walking in the rain anymore. And so now see, I'm old school in this regard. I actually will pull out a paperback and spend my day reading book.
Paperback book? What the heck is that?
Yeah, I know.
Jeez. I'm still laughing here. Hang on a second. Next point I want to bring up in relation to that, why they were trying to, plan with all the paperwork out and stuff is planning your route. So this is what I do, and he'll tell you what's right, you know what I mean? But I just say, okay, I'm 4 days away from Franklin from here. I can't remember if that's what it was, and what I do is, okay, I go on the Far Out app and I look at where the shelters are. Generally, they're say 11 miles apart a piece. So, okay, I'm going to go to Muskrat Shelter's the next one. I know that. That's where I'm headed. It's 11 miles away. And then then I'll go to the next shelter, and then the next shelter, and then I know Saturday at about 11 o'clock I'm going to be in Franklin, North Carolina. So now I have my days set. I know that. Now when I start hiking tomorrow, all I think about is the 11 miles to Muskrat Shelter. I don't think about anything else. I'm not thinking about Franklin or Shaw's Hostel. I'm not thinking. All I'm thinking about is Muskrat. And then when I get to Muskrat, eat, brush my teeth, fall asleep. I check the weather, the elevation, and I'm going to the next shelter. That's my goal for that day, and it repeats. So I don't stress out over, long term or how am I going to do this. And again, like I said, I love the Far Out app for this. It's great. How about you? What do you think?
Well, through hike is just a series of day hikes, one right after the other.
Yeah, I talked about this before where you set small goals every day. It's unfathomable to think about Maine when you're in Georgia. It's 2,100 miles away still. And if you think that way, it's oh my gosh, my knee's hurting me already. I'm 50 miles in. So just take it one hike, one day at a time, really, right? Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
And every day is a victory. Every day is a goal achieved. And it feels good to walk in that lean-to shelter or that campsite every day, especially after a lot of elevation gains. And it feels good. Anything to take on that?
Yeah. You mentioned your knees ache or your back aches or whatever. When you walk into a shelter or a campsite or whatever, place where other hikers are spending the night, and you're feeling just completely wrung out, dragged out, tired, achy all over, and you think everybody else here is doing better than me. I hope they don't realize how badly I feel. You look around and there's 10 other hikers there. Every one of those 10 is feeling exactly the same thing you're feeling. So don't put that in your mind. Don't ever undersell yourself or oversell everyone else.
Right. Totally, yeah. So just keep setting small goals, one hike at a time, push through the pain, and before you know it, you're going to be in New Hampshire and Maine. So there.
Ready to do this?
Yeah. Okay. This is specific. My next BigWillyDawg tip. This is very specific. I don't know if he's going to agree with it or not. I have no idea. But I remember going through Georgia in my through hike, and I was trying to go light. And probably when I got to maybe it was Franklin. I was still trying to go light, and I got rid of things maybe I should have kept. You know what I mean? And I remember one thing was this. It was my body glide. I was I never used it. It just takes up space in my toiletry bag. Is that how you say that? Toiletry bag? Mm-hmm. And I got rid of it. Boy, big mistake. So when I got to about Damascus, Virginia, man, I was climbing out of town, I remember Damascus, and all of a sudden I had a sensation in my butt. And it was right where my butt cheeks come together. I
don't even want to think about it.
Well, this is why we got to talk about it. This is important.
No.
And guess what? I didn't have anything on me. And I got to the shelter, and I was there with my friend Pat Townsend. And I said, Pat, I got to get off trail. I could barely walk. I remember it was 3/4 of a mile to the shelter when it hit me. And it took me an hour and a half to get to the shelter. That's how painful it was. And luckily, Pat, my friend, had some body glide on it, and he let me use his. Now, people say that's gross, but what he did, he had floss, he cut off the top, just so you know too. I heard you grunt when I said that.
No. I wasn't thinking.
And
I was thinking something else.
So he cut off the top, and then he took the floss and cut off a fresh piece, handed that to me in my palm, and I took my palm,
Well, what I'm thinking is you need to explain what Body Glide is.
Well, I'll be your job, actually. I just know it works. That's all I know. But anyway, I got to tell you, though, the relief was instant. I could hike on after that. I didn't have to go to town. I didn't have to get off trail. And it was instant. But it's so important. And you may not ever need it. I don't know. But if you need it and you don't have it, you're off trail.
Yeah.
What do you think, Drew?
Well,
you don't want to hold this, do you? I bet.
Oh, yeah. Who knows where it's been?
Nah.
No.
Up my butt.
Well, this is anti-chafing cream. And that happens a lot. You know, your thighs rub together. Your butt cheeks rub together. If you get your hip belt, if it's rubbing on your hips, then that can cause problems. Now, more often than not, it happens in warmer weather when we're sweating a lot. But yeah, if you've got some anti-chafing cream you can put on, it will make a world of difference. Like I say, I've never had an experience in the colder months where it was necessary, but that's just me. You know, other people may be different. But yeah, I think it's a good thing to consider having. Now, if you discover that you never have chafing issues, then it's just something you don't need to have. Yeah. But most of us will experience at least a little bit of chafing, at least at some point. So
yeah, I don't know. My butt loves to chafe, though, so I gotta have it. I mean, it's in my head now. Even if I don't get it, it's so ingrained in my head, I'm gonna get it. So I gotta have it.
Well, yeah, a lot of people will put it on before they start hiking every day. You know, the places. That
I don't do that. Yeah, I just get it when I'm symptomatic is the right word, but. Yeah, so good. Another thing I'm just gonna bring up. This is just my thing. This is a difficult one to talk about because it has to do with the butt again. Is what I'm saying. So for me, a lot of people carry baby wipes. They like to wipe themselves down. At the end of hiking in the tent, especially in the summertime. This is a little bit cool. I never really cared for that because, I knew I was going to town like every 5 days or something. I just stayed scrungy. I didn't care, you know what I mean? But with my butt problems, I didn't carry baby wipes. What I did carry was another kind of wipe. And it was called the Preparation H wipes. Don't get nervous now. But, a real weak spot in the human body is your, how do we say it? Can I say it or no?
Yeah, say it.
Anus? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
It particularly if you're, I think anyway, if you're an older hiker, it can be a weak spot for you. So if you don't wipe properly and you have fecal matter sitting there, I think the fluid's very acidic and it can wreak havoc in that area down there. It can chafe it, dry it out. So I think if you have a little bit of this around, I'm not saying a lot, just as a precautionary measure to combat that. I just carry it with me because one thing I learned that the anus is part of the walking anatomy. If it's not if the anus is not right, you're not going to be walking. You're going to be off trail. So, if you experience like a mini hemorrhoid or chafing or dryness down there, this, like the Body Glide, is really curing and it can help a lot. Keep you on the trail and going. But I understand, young people probably don't need this because they have, more of a strong iron anus or something. I don't know, but I just say it's precautionary. I'm not saying you need to have it, but I carry it. Just kind of a weird tip, but I just try to stay on trail. I just try to. Do you have an opinion on that or no?
Not on that one particularly.
Come on, No, you must use this.
No, I don't. As far as wipes, though, a lot of people like to have a wipe of some kind. Mm-hmm. Either to wipe their butt or to just at the end of the day, to wipe down some of the sweat off and stuff. Now, many people who carry wipes now have already figured out, well, that's more weight that you're carrying.
It is heavy. It is a little heavy.
Well, a lot of people will actually take the wipes, they'll put them out, and they'll let them dry. Mm-hmm. And then they'll reconstitute them by putting a few drops of water on them before they use them. Okay. Mm-hmm. There's also reusable towels that you can do that with. Mm-hmm. I always carry something to wipe down with. It's not wipes, though. I don't want to add more to the landfill, and I like to be ecologically conscientious. There we go. Yeah. I will carry a rag that I will wet down in the evening, maybe put a little soap on, and I'll do a sponge bath. Okay. It's not with a sponge, but it's with a wipe. But not a paper wipe. One that I can use over and over again. Yeah. microfiber little towel or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing how much better you will feel if you get that sweat off of yourself.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right.
Now we do have many mantras on trail. One of which is embrace the funk, yeah, you're going to smell. Everybody's going to smell. But if you get that sweat wiped off, you're going to feel a whole lot better.
It's true, yeah. I mean, I had baby wipes that I wiped myself down in the tent, and I did feel better, in the warmer months. And so most people do carry baby wipes. I don't know what happens if you wipe your face with this. You think anything would happen?
No idea.
I don't know.
I've never used them.
Yeah. And we had a cake.
So like hammer time, only better.
Yeah, we had a cake delivered to us to the hostel by our friend Sue in New Orleans. Sue, we're so thankful for you. We're all enjoying it immensely, especially Nimrod. He's ready to eat the whole thing.
No.
That guy's an animal. Yeah. Anyway, guys, to close out, thanks for listening. It was just a few tips that I thought of, and I asked Nimrod to sit in to see if he agrees. But when you come on the trail and you're going to come to Green Dragon Hostel, most likely, Nimrod is here, and he'll answer all your questions. He'll shake you down. He'll go through your backpack. He'll take great care of you here at the Green Hostel, Green Dragon Hostel.
I'm going to shake him down.
Yeah, you shake him down. Yeah.
I'm going to turn you upside down and shake all the money out of your pockets. No.
Yeah. So come on by, and it's the finest hostel in Georgia. And it's going to soon be one of the finest hostels on all of the Appalachian. I'm trying to say it right, just so everyone knows. Don't yell at me.
Appalachian.
New Jersey would say Appalachian. Appalachian?
Appalachian.
It's going to soon be one of the finest hostels on the Appalachian Trail.
Very good.
Thank you, man. People could really get angry at me when I pronounce it. They told me to get off trail in the comments. Like, that's kind of drastic, don't you think? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, see, now there is this ongoing battle over the correct pronunciation.
Oh, it's ongoing, all right, man.
No, there is one definitive answer to this question, though.
I think I already know the answer, but go ahead.
Well, no, the region of the country through which you are currently passing is known as Appalachia. Okay, that is the correct pronunciation for this region of the country. It runs from Alabama up through New York, or through the New York state line, essentially. Okay, so in the South, the correct pronunciation is Appalachia. But once you get up to New York and up into New England, they can say it any way they want because they're no longer in the region of the country known as Appalachia. And they have chosen to say Appalachian Trail. So both are correct. It just depends upon where you are.
Oh, so if I'm from New Jersey, obviously, so I say it correctly. But if I'm down here, though, I cannot say it like I say it in New Jersey.
Well, you can. This is how it goes. Like you go along the trail and people ask you what you're doing, and tell them you're hiking on the trail. Oh, really? What trail is that? Well, if you tell them the Appalachian Trail, they'll say, all right, he's one of us. He's okay. You say Appalachian Trail, they say, he's a Yankee, not to be trusted.
Damn Yankees, yeah. Definitely. I can't pronounce anything down here in these states. Georgia, North Carolina, it's like not English. It's, I think it's like Indian names, right?
Yeah, but that's also true up in New England. That's true all over the United States.
Well, in New Jersey's simple. We have like Tom's River, Bricktown. I mean, we're simple. So come on by.
How about the Taconic?
That's not New York or something?
Or how about the Tappan Zee?
That's New York. That's definitely New York. That's not part of New Jersey. I'm Jersey Shore, by the way, too. North Jersey's totally... They pronounce things different up in North Jersey than they do in the Jersey Shore. I'm down by Bruce Springsteen and Bon Jovi, so...
Yeah. Well, you can't not love them, so...
Yeah. And just to bring up one thing about New Jersey, it's some of the finest hiking on the Appalachian Trail, in my opinion. I mean, it's 77 miles. It's not very much. But everyone that I was hiking with in the trail family, it's like, oh, New Jersey this, New Jersey, they're making fun of it. And when they got to New Jersey, they're like, wow, it's really, really beautiful. A lot of overlooks, boardwalk walking. It's really fantastic. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing. Really amazing. Great job, New Jersey. Really proud of that.
I was telling you, they call New Jersey the Garden State for a reason,
Why is that?
Well, because it is beautiful. And
we have tomatoes, too. It's known for tomatoes.
That too. But yeah, as I was telling you, it's not all Bayonne. So.
Bayonne, North Jersey. I know. I think we were saying goodbye for her. We got rambling again. Anyway, I got to say about Nimrod, if you don't know him, he's probably like one of the most book smart guys I've ever met. He knows everything about everything, especially down in this area. He'll give you a whole history of all the town names and Indians, and the guy knows everything. He kind of reminds me like what's that movie, Rain Man or something like that? That's what you're like. You're like Rain Man. Well, but, more like, you're more with it. Don't get me wrong, but
So,
maybe he's more with it. I don't know. But
no, I'm not autistic at all.
but he's a brilliant mind. He's unbelievable. He even told me everything. I told you I had a cake delivered. He told me the history of a king cake. I didn't know what a king cake was. I thought it was like Elvis Presley cake or something like that. He told me the whole history of it, and it's like amazing. And the guy's a wealth of knowledge. Not only the Appalachian Trail, but
good.
of history of all sorts of history. So, it was a great pleasure being here with you today. It really was. I mean, you're a legend of the trail. He's worked at many hostels too throughout the years. He knows everybody. You know what I mean? And now he knows me, the most important person. Now he knows me, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. So
I'm not smart. I'm just old.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. You're wonderful.
Thank
You're
you.
a great friend, brother.
Pleasure.
And
Yep.
come on down to Green Hostel, guys. You'll have a great time here. Take care now.